Here, and today I feel like we need to talk about the drum gun. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun video when we're talking about a gun in Fortnite, specifically the drum gun. Okay, you all, well, probably not all of you, but some of you probably saw my video about me, Cave, and Kevin watching the live event, where the community voted the drum gun back in, and that meant the drum gun was unvaulted. And since the community voted it in, Epic probably isn't going to remove it because they know that if they remove a gun that got voted in by the community, they are probably gonna get a lot of backlash. And today's video, I don't like doing this a lot because I don't like to just complain about stuff in games, but I feel like the drum gun is definitely something that needs to be talked about. I don't know why Epic put the drum gun as a option, because it was like, I could kind of see why, but like the final decision, honestly, I wasn't very happy about. Now, originally, I was one of those people who honestly wanted the drum gun back, but after having it back, I remembered why they removed it. And a lot of you are probably just gonna go in the comments saying, oh, and nicely, you're just complaining about the drum gun because you get killed by it a lot. Well, it's kind of a thing. If you don't have a drum gun in a game of Fortnite, you're probably gonna die. Because, like, if you don't have a drum gun and you go up against a guy with a drum gun, you are screwed. Like, just click leave game at that point. This is annoying. I really think that the drum gun was probably not a bad addition, but it wasn't a great addition because, like, you've heard this a bajillion times that the drum gun's overpowered, because it really is. I already see people on YouTube like Muselk. They're already saying that they are unhappy that this weapon's in the game. Like, bouncers and tac SMG. Okay, yeah, so, let me talk about the video where me and Kevin and Cave watched the event. When I was in, when we were making that video, I seemed really unhappy about the drum guns unvaulting. But I actually really wasn't that unhappy because I wanted it back. But I definitely would have preferred having the TAC SMG back. And, like, Cave was, like, super happy, which, I mean, it's a virtual gun, Cave. Chill. But after a few days of really seeing the game with the drum gun, it's not that fun because, as I already said, you don't have a drum gun, you are not gonna live. I've gone up against plenty of people with drum guns, and I didn't have a drum gun, and I've always been screwed. And if I have a drum gun and they don't, I've almost always killed them. which to me is a sign that that is probably not good for the game, because if you just always die if you don't have a drum gun and you go up against somebody who does, that's a sign that the gun is probably a little overpowered. Okay, I wanted the drum gun back, revaulted. The community obviously said they wanted it back. I don't think it should be vaulted again. But what I definitely do think should happen is that the drum gun should get a major nerf. Like, at this point, the drum gun is way too overpowered for the game. And a lot of people are gonna just stop playing. Well, I shouldn't say that like I know it's gonna happen, but I get the feeling a lot of people will stop playing just because they have to go up against, like, the drum gun, and which is literally the most overpowered thing in the game, other than like a rocket or explosive weapon. Because its fire rate it's insane. Its damage hasn't even been nerfed since when it was last out. Yeah, I looked. It's still 26 and 27 damage. I looked at old videos and it seemed to be 26 and 27 damage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just clips I've seen. I genuinely just don't have fun in the game when I have to fight against a bunch of people with drum guns. But yeah, that's my thought. That's my thoughts on the drum guns after a couple of days of having it in. Comment below if you feel the same. And I will see you all in the next episode. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Peace.